The unspoken rules, mastering psychological power in relationships. Let's talk about something most people are afraid to admit. Relationships, at their core, involve a subtle dance of power dynamics. Forget the fairy tales and the rom-com cliches. Understanding how these dynamics work isn't about manipulation, but about navigating the complex landscape of human interaction with awareness and intention. This isn't your typical relationship advice. We're not talking about flowers and chocolates, we're diving deep into the psychology that drives attraction, connection, and ultimately, influence. Have you ever felt like you're constantly chasing, trying to decipher a code that seems deliberately designed to be indecipherable? Have you ever poured your heart out, only to find that your vulnerability is met with indifference, or even worse, used against you? If so, you're not alone. Many men find themselves in this frustrating position, perpetually striving to meet expectations that seem to shift like sand. The truth is, a lot of conventional relationship advice is well-intentioned, but ultimately ineffective because it ignores a fundamental reality: human beings, regardless of gender, are driven by complex emotional needs and desires. The problem is that we're often taught to approach relationships with a naive sense of fairness and reciprocity. We believe that if we're kind, considerate, and honest, we'll naturally attract the right person and build a fulfilling connection. While these qualities are certainly important, they're not enough on their own. The world doesn't reward blind adherence to a moral code. Sometimes, the nice guy finishes last, not because he lacks good intentions, but because he lacks the psychological awareness to navigate the game effectively. This isn't to say you should become a manipulative Machiavellian schemer. The point is to become aware of the unspoken rules, the psychological levers that influence behavior, and to use this knowledge to create a more balanced and fulfilling dynamic. It's about understanding that women, just like men, are complex individuals with their own strategies and desires. To pretend otherwise is to operate from a position of weakness. We need to move beyond outdated stereotypes and embrace a more nuanced understanding of what truly drives attraction and connection. Think of it like this: relationships are like a game of chess. You can't win simply by having good intentions or by playing fair. You need to understand the rules of the game, the strengths and weaknesses of your opponent, and the strategic implications of each move. Ignoring these factors will inevitably lead to checkmate. This doesn't mean you have to become ruthless, but it does mean you have to be strategic. You need to understand how your actions impact the overall dynamic and how to anticipate your partner's moves. This essay is not about teaching you how to manipulate women. It's about empowering you with the knowledge to understand the underlying forces at play in your relationships. It's about equipping you with the psychological tools to create a more balanced and fulfilling connection, where your needs are met, and your voice is heard. It's about becoming the master of your own relational destiny, rather than a pawn in someone else's game. The modern dating landscape has evolved into a psychological battleground where emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and strategic thinking are crucial for success. The information age has saturated the market with conflicting advice, leaving many individuals feeling lost and confused. To truly thrive in this environment, one must learn to cut through the noise and understand the fundamental principles that govern human interaction. The key is to shift your focus from seeking external validation to cultivating internal strength. When you are confident, self-assured, and emotionally resilient, you become less susceptible to manipulation and better equipped to navigate the complexities of relationships. This transformation begins with a deep understanding of your own values, needs, and desires. The prevailing narrative often portrays vulnerability as the ultimate virtue, encouraging individuals to openly share their deepest fears and insecurities. While vulnerability can certainly foster intimacy, it can also be exploited by those who seek to gain control. The goal is to strike a balance between authenticity and self-protection. Imagine a world where you can confidently approach any relationship, knowing that you are equipped with the knowledge and skills to navigate its challenges and maximize its potential. This is not just about achieving romantic success, it is about cultivating a deeper understanding of yourself and others, leading to more fulfilling and meaningful connections in all areas of your life. In the following sections, we will dissect these strategies, providing concrete examples and actionable steps to help you master the art of psychological power in relationships. We will explore how to trigger emotional responses, leverage fears, master the push-pull technique, subtly undermine confidence, and strategically manage emotional availability. Section 1: Triggering Emotional Responses, the Key to Connection. Forget logic, emotions are the language of the heart. Trying to reason your way into a woman's affections is like trying to build a house with a hammer made of marshmallows. It simply won't work. Women, like all humans, are driven by their emotions. Understanding this and learning to evoke specific feelings is paramount to creating a strong connection and influencing the relationship dynamic. The idea that women don't respond to logic is not meant to be a denigration or a generalization. Men and women can both act logically and emotionally. However, studies have shown that men and women have different brain structures and react differently to different stimuli. The goal here is to understand the emotional and psychological makeup of a woman. Women often experience a whirlwind of emotions, which can sometimes seem illogical or irrational to those who do not understand them. To truly connect with a woman, you must learn to navigate this emotional landscape with empathy, understanding, and skill. The first step is to recognize the power of emotions. Emotions are the driving force behind our desires, our fears, and our decisions. They shape our perceptions of the world and influence our interactions with others. By understanding the emotional triggers that influence a woman's behavior, you can gain insight into her motivations and create a deeper, more meaningful connection. Imagine a skilled musician who knows how to play on the emotions of their audience. They can evoke joy, sadness, excitement, and nostalgia with the flick of a wrist. Similarly, you can learn to orchestrate emotional responses in a woman by understanding her triggers and using them to your advantage. This doesn't mean manipulating her feelings, it means creating an emotional experience that resonates with her on a deep level. One of the most effective ways to trigger emotional responses is to be unpredictable. Humans are naturally drawn to novelty and excitement. By introducing an element of surprise into your interactions, you can create a sense of anticipation and intrigue. This can be as simple as changing your routine, introducing a new activity, or saying something unexpected. Think about the thrill of a roller coaster ride. The unexpected twists, turns, and drops create a rush of adrenaline that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Similarly, in relationships, unpredictability can create an emotional roller coaster that keeps your partner engaged and invested. Another way to trigger emotional responses is to tap into her desires. What does she crave? What makes her feel alive? By understanding her passions and interests, you can create experiences that resonate with her on a deep level. This could involve taking her to a concert of her favorite band, planning a surprise weekend getaway, or simply engaging in a conversation about something she is passionate about. When you are attuned to a woman's emotional state, you can anticipate her needs and respond in a way that makes her feel seen, heard, and understood. This level of attunement fosters a deep sense of connection and intimacy. In addition to triggering positive emotions, it is also important to understand how to manage negative emotions. Everyone experiences negative emotions from time to time, and it is important to create a safe space where your partner feels comfortable expressing these feelings without judgment. To truly master the art of emotional influence, you must be willing to embrace vulnerability and authenticity. When you are genuine in your interactions, you create a sense of trust and connection that cannot be replicated through manipulation or pretense. Consider the example of a man who is trying to impress a woman by boasting about his accomplishments and possessions. While this may initially grab her attention, it is unlikely to create a lasting connection. Instead, imagine a man who is willing to share his vulnerabilities and insecurities. This level of honesty and self-awareness can create a powerful bond that transcends superficiality. The ability to trigger emotional responses is not just about manipulating a woman's feelings, it is about understanding her emotional landscape and creating experiences that resonate with her on a deep level. By embracing unpredictability, tapping into her desires, and creating a safe space for emotional expression, you can cultivate a connection that is both exciting and fulfilling. Now, let's delve into specific scenarios where emotional triggering can be artfully applied. Imagine you're on a first date. Instead of reciting your resume or asking generic questions, try this. The shared secret technique: share a slightly embarrassing, yet relatable, story from your childhood. This instantly creates a sense of intimacy and vulnerability, triggering feelings of empathy and connection. The contrarian compliment: instead of simply saying, "You look beautiful," say something like, "That dress is surprisingly flattering, I wouldn't have thought it would suit you, but you pull it off perfectly." This triggers a mix of validation and intrigue, making her wonder what you really think. The hypothetical scenario: pose a thought-provoking, slightly controversial, hypothetical question. For example, if you could have any superpower for a day, but it meant giving up your favorite food forever, what would it be? This sparks curiosity and reveals her values. The unexpected gift: bring a small, thoughtful gift that demonstrates you've paid attention to her interests. This could be a rare book by her favorite author, a handcrafted item that reflects her personality, or even a mixtape of her favorite music. The act of thinking of her will trigger feelings of value. The key is to be authentic and avoid appearing manipulative. The goal isn't to trick her, but to create a memorable experience that sparks her curiosity and ignites her emotions. By understanding the nuances of human emotion, you can create connections that are both meaningful and powerful. You can use these techniques to show your values in an authentic and vulnerable way, leading to a deeper connection. Section 2: Leveraging Fears, Unveiling Vulnerability. Everyone has fears, whether they acknowledge them or not. Identifying a woman's deepest insecurities isn't about exploiting them, but about understanding the emotional terrain you're navigating. It's about recognizing that these fears often drive behavior, and that by addressing them, you can build a stronger connection based on empathy and understanding. The notion of leveraging fears should not be construed as encouraging malevolent behavior. It is about gaining insight into a woman's innermost insecurities and using that knowledge to foster a deeper connection based on empathy and understanding. Women, just like men, harbor a complex tapestry of fears that shape their thoughts, actions, and relationships. These fears can range from the fear of abandonment to the fear of not being good enough, and they often stem from past experiences, societal pressures, and personal insecurities. The first step in understanding a woman's fears is to cultivate empathy. Put yourself in her shoes and try to understand her perspective. What challenges has she faced? What insecurities does she harbor? By actively listening to her stories and observing her behavior, you can begin to gain insight into her deepest fears. Think about a woman who has experienced abandonment in the past. She may be overly clingy and anxious in her relationships, constantly seeking reassurance that her partner will not leave her. By understanding her fear of abandonment, you can respond with empathy and provide the reassurance she needs to feel secure. Another common fear among women is the fear of not being good enough. This fear can manifest as perfectionism, self-criticism, and a constant need for validation. By acknowledging her accomplishments and praising her strengths, you can help her overcome this fear and build her self-confidence. In addition to understanding her fears, it is important to be mindful of your own behavior. Avoid actions or words that could trigger her insecurities or reinforce her negative beliefs. For example, if she is insecure about her appearance, avoid making jokes about her weight or comparing her to other women. Instead, focus on building her up and helping her see her own beauty and worth. Compliment her on her strengths, encourage her to pursue her passions, and remind her of her accomplishments. By creating a supportive and affirming environment, you can help her overcome her fears and build a stronger sense of self-esteem. It is also important to remember that everyone deals with their fears in different ways. Some women may be open about their insecurities, while others may try to hide them. Be patient and understanding, and allow her to share her fears at her own pace. When a woman feels safe and supported, she is more likely to open up and share her innermost thoughts and feelings. By creating a safe space for emotional expression, you can foster a deeper connection and help her overcome her fears. The key is to approach her fears with empathy, understanding, and respect. Avoid using her fears against her or trying to manipulate her emotions. Instead, focus on building her up and helping her see her own worth. When you are genuine in your intentions, you can create a connection that is both meaningful and transformative. Consider the example of a man who learns that his partner is afraid of public speaking. Instead of teasing her about her fear, he offers to help her practice and provides her with encouragement and support. By helping her overcome her fear, he not only strengthens their bond but also empowers her to achieve her goals. By understanding a woman's fears, you can gain insight into her innermost insecurities and use that knowledge to foster a deeper connection based on empathy and understanding. You can also develop strong partnerships by sharing your own fears in a vulnerable and authentic way. This is not just about relationships, but about how to create strong connections with others. Let's explore how you can subtly identify and address a woman's fears without appearing manipulative or intrusive. Observe her reactions, pay attention to the topics she avoids, the subjects that make her uncomfortable, or the situations where she seems anxious. These are often indicators of underlying fears. Listen actively. When she talks about her past experiences, listen for patterns or themes that suggest specific insecurities. Did she struggle with rejection in school? Does she have a strained relationship with her family? Ask open-ended questions. Instead of directly asking, "What are you afraid of?" try asking questions like, "What's your biggest regret?" or "What's one thing you wish you could change about yourself?" This allows her to reveal her fears on her own terms. Share your own vulnerabilities. By being open about your own fears and insecurities, you create a safe space for her to do the same. This fosters trust and allows you to connect on a deeper level. Offer support and encouragement. Once you've identified her fears, offer genuine support and encouragement. Help her to challenge her negative beliefs and to see herself in a more positive light. For instance, imagine you discover that a woman is afraid of failure. Instead of dismissing her fears, you could share a personal story about a time when you failed and how you learned from the experience. You could also encourage her to take small risks and celebrate her successes, no matter how small. Or, if you learn that she's afraid of being alone, you could reassure her of your commitment to the relationship and make an effort to spend quality time with her. You could also encourage her to pursue her own interests and develop a strong support system outside of the relationship. The goal isn't to eliminate her fears entirely, but to help her to manage them and to see them as opportunities for growth. When she feels supported and understood, she's more likely to trust you and to open herself up to a deeper connection. Section 3, Mastering the Push-Pull Technique, the Art of Attraction. The push-pull technique is a classic strategy for creating attraction and maintaining interest. It involves alternating between showing affection and withdrawing attention, creating a sense of uncertainty and intrigue. This isn't about being deliberately confusing, but about keeping the dynamic fresh and preventing complacency. The push-pull technique is a psychological strategy that involves alternating between showing affection and withdrawing attention, creating a sense of uncertainty and intrigue. While it can be an effective way to spark attraction and maintain interest, it is important to use it with caution and avoid being deliberately confusing or manipulative. The goal of the push-pull technique is not to control or manipulate a woman's emotions but to keep the relationship dynamic fresh and prevent complacency. When a relationship becomes predictable, it can lose its spark and excitement. By introducing an element of uncertainty, you can keep your partner engaged and invested. Think about a favorite TV show that keeps you on the edge of your seat. The writers use cliffhangers, plot twists, and unexpected character developments to keep you guessing and coming back for more. Similarly, the push-pull technique can create a sense of anticipation and excitement in a relationship. However, it is important to use the push-pull technique in moderation. Too much pulling can make you seem distant, aloof, and uninterested. Too much pushing can make you seem clingy, needy, and desperate. The key is to strike a balance between the two. To effectively use the push-pull technique, you must first understand your own motivations and intentions. Are you trying to manipulate your partner's emotions, or are you genuinely trying to keep the relationship fresh and exciting? If your intentions are manipulative, the technique is likely to backfire. Instead, focus on using the push-pull technique to create a sense of playfulness and excitement in the relationship. This could involve teasing her in a playful way, challenging her to try new things, or surprising her with unexpected gestures of affection. Consider the example of a man who compliments his partner on her outfit one day and then playfully teases her about her fashion sense the next. This playful back and forth can create a sense of intrigue and excitement that keeps her guessing and engaged. Another way to use the push-pull technique is to alternate between showing affection and withdrawing attention. This doesn't mean ignoring her or being deliberately distant. It simply means giving her space to pursue her own interests and passions. When you give your partner space, you show her that you trust her and that you are not afraid of her independence. This can be incredibly attractive and can help to strengthen your bond. In addition to using the push-pull technique in your interactions, it is important to be mindful of your overall demeanor. Be confident, self-assured, and independent. Show her that you have a life outside of the relationship and that you are not dependent on her for your happiness. When you are secure in yourself, you radiate a sense of confidence that is incredibly attractive. This doesn't mean being arrogant or boastful. It simply means being comfortable in your own skin and knowing your own worth. The push-pull technique is not a magic bullet that will guarantee success in relationships. However, when used thoughtfully and intentionally, it can be an effective way to create attraction, maintain interest, and keep the relationship dynamic fresh and exciting. The key is to use it in moderation, to be mindful of your own motivations, and to focus on creating a sense of playfulness and excitement. When you are genuine in your intentions, you can create a connection that is both meaningful and transformative. You want to show that you are a fully formed human with your own life and interests. This will ultimately lead to more balanced and fulfilling relationships. Let's break down the push-pull technique into specific examples and explore the psychology behind its effectiveness. The compliment/tease. This involves giving a genuine compliment followed by a playful tease. For example, you have a really sharp mind, for an artist. This creates a mix of validation and playful challenge. The availability/unavailability. This means being responsive and engaged at times, and then being briefly unavailable due to your own commitments and interests. Don't be constantly at her beck and call. The agreement/disagreement. Don't always agree with everything she says. Express your own opinions, even if they differ from hers. This shows that you have your own mind and aren't simply seeking her approval. The interest/disinterest. Show genuine interest in her life and passions, but also demonstrate that you have your own interests that are equally important. Don't make her the sole focus of your attention. The affection/space. Be affectionate and loving, but also give her, and yourself, space to breathe. Don't be clingy or smothering. The psychology behind the push-pull technique lies in its ability to trigger a number of powerful emotional responses. Uncertainty. The unpredictable nature of the technique creates a sense of uncertainty, which can be highly stimulating. Curiosity. The push-pull dynamic makes her wonder what you really think and feel, sparking her curiosity. Challenge. The technique presents a subtle challenge, making her want to win your approval. Validation. The moments of affection and validation are all the more powerful because they are not constant. Investment. The emotional investment required to navigate the push-pull dynamic can lead to a deeper connection. However, it's crucial to use the push-pull technique ethically and responsibly. It should never be used to deliberately manipulate or harm someone. The goal is to create a dynamic that is both stimulating and respectful. For example, if you're using the compliment/tease technique, make sure the tease is light-hearted and playful, not mean-spirited or hurtful. If you're using the availability/unavailability technique, make sure you're still responsive and engaged, just not constantly at her beck and call. The key is to be genuine and authentic in your interactions. Don't try to be someone you're not. The best relationships are built on honesty, respect, and mutual understanding. The push and pull helps to navigate the complex landscape of a new relationship and helps to create a balanced dynamic. Section 4, Subtly Undermining Confidence, the Power of Insecurity. This concept is perhaps the most controversial, and it's crucial to approach it with nuance and ethical consideration. It's not about tearing someone down, but about creating a dynamic where your opinion is valued. This involves subtly challenging their beliefs, questioning their choices, and making them work for your approval. The concept of subtly undermining confidence is perhaps the most controversial of all the strategies discussed in this essay. It is important to approach this technique with extreme caution and ethical consideration. It is not about tearing someone down or deliberately hurting their feelings. It is about creating a dynamic where your opinion is valued and where your partner is motivated to improve themselves. The goal is not to control or manipulate a woman's emotions but to inspire her to become the best version of herself. This requires a delicate balance between challenging her beliefs, questioning her choices, and making her work for your approval. Think about a coach who pushes their athletes to reach their full potential. The coach is not trying to tear them down or make them feel bad about themselves. They are simply trying to motivate them to work harder and achieve their goals. Similarly, in relationships, it is important to challenge your partner's beliefs and question their choices. This doesn't mean being constantly critical or argumentative. It means encouraging them to think critically about their life and to make choices that are aligned with their values. One way to subtly undermine confidence is to offer constructive criticism. This doesn't mean pointing out every flaw or mistake. It means offering specific, actionable feedback that can help your partner improve themselves. For example, if your partner is insecure about their appearance, you could offer to help them choose new outfits or suggest a new hairstyle. If your partner is insecure about their career, you could offer to help them practice their interview skills or suggest a new career path. Another way to subtly undermine confidence is to challenge their beliefs. This doesn't mean being disrespectful or dismissive. It means encouraging them to think critically about their beliefs and to question the assumptions that they are making. For example, if your partner believes that they are not good enough, you could challenge them to think about their accomplishments and to focus on their strengths. If your partner believes that they are not worthy of love, you could challenge them to think about the people who love them and to focus on the positive qualities that they possess. It is also important to remember that everyone has different strengths and weaknesses. What one person finds challenging, another person may find easy. Be patient and understanding, and allow your partner to grow and develop at their own pace. The key is to offer constructive criticism, challenge their beliefs, and encourage them to grow and develop at their own pace. When you are genuine in your intentions, you can create a connection that is both meaningful and transformative. You want to help your partner be the best version of themselves. This is a long-term strategy that can pay dividends. Here's a more practical and ethical approach to subtly undermining confidence. The devil's advocate. Play the devil's advocate and challenge her opinions, not to be argumentative, but to encourage her to think critically and defend her beliefs. The selective compliment. Compliment her on specific qualities or achievements, rather than offering generic praise. This makes your compliments more meaningful and valuable. The problem solver. When she complains about a problem, offer solutions instead of just sympathy. This shows that you're capable and resourceful. The challenging activity. Encourage her to try new things that push her comfort zone. This helps her to grow and develop new skills. The high standards. Hold her to high standards, not to be critical, but to show that you believe in her potential. The psychology behind this approach is that it taps into the human desire for self-improvement and growth. By subtly challenging her and holding her to high standards, you're showing her that you believe in her ability to become better. However, it's crucial to be mindful of your intentions and to avoid being overly critical or demanding. The goal is to inspire her, not to tear her down. For example, if she's insecure about her career, you could encourage her to pursue professional development opportunities or to network with people in her field. You could also offer to help her practice her interview skills or review her resume. Or, if she's insecure about her appearance, you could encourage her to adopt a healthy lifestyle and to focus on her strengths. You could also offer to go to the gym with her or to help her find clothes that flatter her figure. It is important to use these techniques ethically and with good intentions. The point is not to be mean, but to empower your partner and help them to grow. Creating a dynamic of constant personal improvement will strengthen your relationship and help you both live fulfilling and meaningful lives. Section 5. Emotional Availability, the Illusion of Strength, approximately 3,200 words. The prevailing wisdom tells men to be open and vulnerable, but there's a delicate balance. Being too emotionally available can diminish your perceived value. It's about being emotionally intelligent, understanding and managing your emotions, rather than wearing your heart on your sleeve. Mystery and self-control are powerful attractors. The prevailing wisdom tells men to be open and vulnerable, but there's a delicate balance. While vulnerability can be a strength, being too emotionally available can diminish your perceived value. It's about being emotionally intelligent, understanding and managing your emotions, rather than wearing your heart on your sleeve. Mystery and self-control are powerful attractors. In modern society, men are often encouraged to embrace vulnerability and express their emotions openly. While this can be a positive development, it is important to strike a balance between authenticity and self-control. The idea that women do not want a man to show his emotions has been proven to be false by multiple scientific studies. A better way to look at it is that there needs to be a balance. To be overly emotional can be a sign of weakness or instability. To never share what you are feeling may lead to distance. The key is to be selective about when and how you share your emotions. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending to be someone you're not. It means being thoughtful about how your emotions might impact others and choosing to express them in a way that is both authentic and appropriate. For example, if you are feeling angry, it is important to express that anger in a way that is not aggressive or disrespectful. You could calmly explain why you are feeling angry, or you could take some time to cool down before addressing the situation. Similarly, if you are feeling sad, it is important to allow yourself to feel those emotions without becoming overwhelmed or withdrawn. You could talk to a trusted friend or family member about your feelings, or you could engage in activities that help you to cope with your sadness. The goal is to be emotionally intelligent, not emotionally transparent. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. Emotional transparency is the tendency to share your emotions openly and without restraint. While emotional transparency can be valuable in certain situations, it can also be overwhelming or off-putting to others. It is important to be mindful of your audience and to tailor your emotional expression accordingly. For example, if you are on a first date, it is generally not appropriate to share your deepest insecurities or to talk about your ex-girlfriend for hours on end. Instead, focus on getting to know your date and building a connection based on shared interests and values. Similarly, if you are at work, it is generally not appropriate to express your anger or frustration in a way that is disrespectful or unprofessional. Instead, focus on finding constructive solutions to the challenges that you are facing. Emotional availability is not the same as emotional dumping. Emotional dumping is the act of unloading your emotions onto someone else without considering their feelings or needs. Emotional dumping can be draining and overwhelming for the recipient, and it can damage your relationship. The goal is to be emotionally aware, not emotionally dependent. You should be able to manage your own emotions without relying on others for support. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or refusing to ask for help when you need it. It simply means developing the skills and resources to cope with your emotions in a healthy and sustainable way. There is a need to be strategic with emotions. Share enough to show you're human and caring, but never lay all your cards on the table. Original content for Section 5. Let's explore how to strike the right balance between emotional availability and self-control. Be a good listener, show genuine interest in her feelings and experiences, but avoid dominating the conversation with your own problems. Express empathy, validate her emotions and show that you understand what she's going through, but don't try to fix her problems for her. Share your values, be open about your values and beliefs, but avoid preaching or imposing them on her. Be honest about your feelings, don't suppress your emotions, but express them in a controlled and respectful manner. Maintain your independence, have your own interests, hobbies, and friendships outside of the relationship. Don't make her the sole source of your happiness. The psychology behind this approach is that it signals strength, self-reliance, and emotional maturity. Women are often attracted to men who are confident, capable, and emotionally stable. However, it's crucial to avoid becoming emotionally detached or aloof. The goal is to be a supportive and caring partner, while also maintaining your own sense of self. For example, if she's going through a difficult time, you could offer to listen and provide support, but you shouldn't try to take over her problems or become her therapist. You could also suggest that she seek professional help if she's struggling to cope with her emotions. Or, if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, you could talk to her about your feelings, but you shouldn't unload all of your problems onto her or expect her to fix them for you. You could also take some time for yourself to relax and recharge. The key is to be a supportive and caring partner, while also maintaining your own sense of self. By striking the right balance between emotional availability and self-control, you can create a relationship that is both fulfilling and sustainable. You will also show that you are a strong individual and partner to your partner. So, there you have it, a deeper dive into the often unspoken rules of relationships. This isn't a guide to becoming a heartless manipulator, but a framework for understanding the psychological dynamics that influence attraction and connection. By mastering these techniques, you can navigate the complexities of relationships with greater awareness, intention, and ultimately, success. Remember that understanding the psychological aspects of relationships is not just about romantic success, it's about cultivating a deeper understanding of yourself and others, leading to more fulfilling connections in all areas of your life. The path to relational mastery is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It requires dedication, self-reflection, and a willingness to learn and adapt. There will be times when you stumble, make mistakes, or feel overwhelmed. But it is important to persevere and to continue to refine your skills. Imagine a world where you can confidently approach any relationship, knowing that you are equipped with the knowledge and skills to navigate its challenges and maximize its potential. This is not just about achieving romantic success, it is about cultivating a deeper understanding of yourself and others, leading to more fulfilling and meaningful connections in all areas of your life. There are several essential elements that need to be included in order to achieve a success relational life. First and foremost, you need to invest in self-awareness. The more you understand yourself, the better you'll be able to understand the needs and desires of others. It's also important to invest in constant self-improvement. Relationships are dynamic. The more you work to improve yourself, the easier you will find that relationships can be. You also need to be able to cultivate emotional resilience. This will help you in your relationship and will also make you a better, more rounded person. Remember, knowledge is power, and by understanding the unspoken rules of relationships, you can create a more fulfilling and empowered life. By understanding the intricacies of human connection, you can enhance your romantic life, strengthen your friendships, and cultivate deeper bonds with your loved ones. This journey of self-discovery and relational mastery will not only transform your relationships but also empower you to become the best version of yourself. The world of relationships is complex, exciting, and ever-evolving. With the right mindset, skills, and knowledge, you can navigate this landscape with confidence, grace, and success. So, take the first step, embrace the journey, and unlock the full potential of your relationships. As you embark on this journey, remember that true power lies not in manipulation, but in authenticity, empathy, and genuine connection. The goal is not to control others but to create a dynamic of mutual respect, understanding, and growth. Remember the core principles we've discussed. Emotions matter, logic has its place, but emotions are the driving force behind attraction and connection. Vulnerability unveils, understanding and addressing fears is key to building trust. Push and pull engages, strategic unpredictability keeps things interesting. Challenge creates value, subtly challenging beliefs can inspire growth. Self-control attracts, emotional intelligence trumps emotional transparency. These are not isolated tactics, but interconnected elements of a larger strategy, to understand and influence the dynamics of human relationships. If you stay sharp, stay strategic, and continuously strive for self-improvement, you can take control of your life and relationships. The journey to mastering psychological power in relationships is not easy, but the rewards are immeasurable. By understanding the unspoken rules, you can create a more balanced, fulfilling, and empowered life. Remember to use these insights responsibly and ethically. Knowledge is power, and with great power comes great responsibility. Use your newfound understanding to build stronger, more meaningful connections, not to manipulate or control others. Finally, remember that relationships are a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, challenges and triumphs. The key is to stay committed to growth, to embrace vulnerability, and to never stop learning. So, go forth and conquer the world of relationships, armed with knowledge, intention, and a deep understanding of the human heart. The world is waiting for you to shine. Remember the steps to success: know yourself, stay committed, find your values, and understand the unspoken rules. Do these, and you will succeed. Now go out there and create a fulfilling and meaningful life. Thank you for engaging with me. Thank you for allowing me to share this knowledge.